Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I have here all the different decks. This is an introduction to the readings. I'm using 4 different decks, and so I'm here to tell you that I'll be doing the mixing off camera for 3 of the decks, laying the spread as you see, and then when I'm with you, I will mix the Vera Sibilla cards and clarify with you. And then I'll be using my runes, and this month I'll be using tiger eyes runes because the contrast is a little easier to see. And of course, as I say that, you cannot see that. Okay. Now, the decks I'll be using is my picture postcards. For a few, I'll take a few of those. Then I'll be using the Happy Tarot, which is a delightful deck. The Happy Tarot. And then I'll be using the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Take 1 card from there. And of course, then Vera Sibilla. This time I'll be using the Vera Sibilla that is a very rare deck, very rare. And I use it sparingly because I can't find a replacement. All right, so on to our readings. Thank you, old and new subscribers. Thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Hello, Cancer. It's your turn. I have the spread laid out for you. Let's take a go. Look at this. This is one of my favorite paintings. This is called The Prince by Schoberg. Then we have in the Happy Tarot, we have the 8 of Cups. There is the Death card. And you can see that this is fashioned after the notion of a celebration, celebrating the rebirth. We have the Congo card 2, Granibo. And we have this painting that may be familiar to you, The Scream by Edvard Munch. All right, now you come into the month, Cancer, with a very invigorated, very invigorated. There's a sense of pride. You feel back in your own. You feel like you are getting your mojo back, and everything that has to do with that. Your energy levels are high. You have a sort of something that has come into your life perhaps the month before that has been so rejuvenating for you that it seems like a new spring. It seems like you have it. You have that energy to start again. Now, not all days are the same, of course, and the action you take is not always suitable to the high-level energies that you feel, that in your heart you have. But on the outside, it seems like our body takes time to get up in tune with our emotions and our energy in our mind. And so the action you take may not be, running around people and traveling miles and running marathons, but it will be a moment when you have an orientation towards a goal that you haven't had recently. You haven't had this sense of purpose before. As a matter of fact, there was many of you who are working started thinking of perhaps maybe stopping. I'm too tired. I can't take it anymore. But there is resurgent energy here, I see. Now, the month will be spent for the most part. The environment of the month is a month of, again, I'll use that expression, a new spring. You're starting to think, there is a possibility for me. Your birthday month is nigh. It's coming. This is it. We're in the Cancer period. And a happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday. And, you're reevaluating instead of those, there's the subscribers out there there's a range. I've seen my specs and it's from 18 to 85. And there is not really any concentration in one age group. So if I say, if you're of uh, retirement age, this is the time when you're going to start thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe, this is what I'm meant to do, and ride it out until, nature just tells me it's time to stop. But it's a month of planning, July. You're not going to see your life in review. No, by no means. You're going to think about your future. You're taking stock of where you are and then projecting into the future, something which is an exercise usually in the hearts and minds of frontiers signs like Aries. This is something that is different for you this month. You're going to try to project into the future without losing your perspective of where you are today. And quite frankly, and I have to say that your emotions are bent toward the future. Okay, you want to make plans with someone, perhaps. And I see that this someone, whether you are with them or whether you're with them very sparingly or whether you just communicate with them from afar, I see that they have had a hand in making you feel the way you feel today, Cancer. And the changes that are going to occur in the month of July actually will be protracted forward. You're going to move the idea of changes in the future because there's a bit of fear in terms of anything that needs to be modified, to be changed. What I'm looking at here with this Eight of Cups is Pisces in Saturn in Pisces. And when it comes out in this position for me, it means that in the Pisces period, Cancer, there is going to be a change for you. From now until then. Now starts a moment when you are rejuvenated. You feel like there's a new spring. It is the underlying element of fear that will undermine that feeling of a new spring. So if I can interpret the cards for you and their message, Cancer, beware of that fear. Now, there's another message here with the Death card, which is a card that speaks of, the Death card is a card of Scorpio. The Death card is Scorpio, and Scorpio is November, and October, November, precisely Cancer. Scorpio is October 21st to November 20th. Now, that's going to be a hurdle month for you. That's going to be a month where you have to make a leap of faith in order for you to get to the finish line of February in the Pisces period. Now, many people ask me, oh, Christelle, why do you talk about future time, the Scorpio period? Why are you talking about November in 2018? Why are you talking about February in 2019? Well, when you open the cards, and any tarot reader, any card reader worthy of the name will tell you, I ask a question, or I ask to see what messages I can give to Cancer for the month of July, and I see messages that are projected, because in this case, Cancer, they're not warning you but giving you a heads up. Look, fear is going to undermine your very health. And there'll be a hurdle in the month of October, November for you to get over in order for you to then get to the finish line. Change your habits, perhaps. Let's take the VERA SIBILLA to see what they can add to this, Cancer. Cancer for the month of July. Cancer for the month of July. Okay, I'm going to take it over the Eight of Cups. Okay, the Eight of Cups here is a, people know that I don't read reversals because I read them within the context of other cards, and a card like the Sun will be a negative card if it has next to it certain cards, so you always keep them right up. Now, what do I have here? I've got the Widower, Vedovo. I have the Ladro, negative change, the thief, that speaks to negative change, and Ammalato, the ill one. Now, this is clearly talking to you about that hurdle, Cancer. You may catch wind of someone who is not well, that affects you in such a way that you empathize to the point of you yourself feeling the brunt of that. Or you may have the notion that, or you may get some kind of results from tests that you did, and they're ominous, and what the cards are telling you is fear not, because that will undermine your very sense of healing. Okay, I'm going to take 3 cards for the card here announcing what the context is in the month of July. It looks like the month of July offers you a new spring. And in the context of this new spring, in the month of July, the cards are telling me that there's this undermining aspect of fear that can ruin the game for you. Okay, well, I've got these cards here coming out. I'll pull them. They're 4 cards, actually. All right, I have Alegria, happiness, and that would speak to the new spring. Gelosia, jealousy, or a moment of crisis, torment. Then we have Viaggio, something happens that is unexpected, and a prison. Now, this may speak to precisely something that you catch wind of, a test that is improperly done at a clinic, and the results are warning you, or they don't speak to you. They're telling you, look, Cancer, this is what the tests have shown, but here you are, and amidst this new spring, how could that be? And there is a contrast here between the way you feel and what is being communicated to you. It's a test, Cancer. It's a bona fide test for you. It's a test of faith. And I've seen this before. And, you know, these are not just empty words. These are, the cards are counseling you. Okay, let's see what the cards can tell us with Granibo, because Granibo is a card that does talk about taking stock, but it doesn't talk about the life in review. It talks about taking stock today. Well, taking stock today. We have Belvedere, which is it can even mean a visit. Very lively, happy visit that you receive. The Servant, which is a negative presence as well. So these two counter each other. Ahora en lettera sorpresa. This is a letter that is a surprise. It could be a surprise trip that you take. And this is the sense of fear setting in. You know, you see the messages that come in, perhaps of some kind of test that you did, but the overall message is Belvedere, a future that is bright. And it's testing you. It's testing how you can evaluate these two energies following this communication. All right, now, Cancer, let's see what this fear is all about. Then I'll cast the runes. I have getaway cards here, slipping away. Okay. All right, then I have the Death card, Morte. Then it's also a change. Exactly. There's a change that is going. Now, what is interesting is that there's the Gran Signore here, the great man, the protector, and messaggero, the messenger. So here we have the letter, we have the messenger. Now, it may seem that the Grim Reaper comes to visit, but it is not. This is a test of your will against what you seem and what the world is and the universe is showing you as the odds. And it is fear that is bringing up the notion that you could be defeated, and it's an interesting reading for me because we have the feeling of a new spring, and the month of July heralds in a new spring for you. And it's almost what I'm seeing, and I've seen it so many times before, Cancer, that many people, when they're on a lucky streak, when they're on a roll, when everything is going well, they have difficulty in stepping in their light, actually walking in their light, because they're incredulous and the aspect of faith is missing. So we need to shore up. Let me see what the runes tell us. Okay, now. Okay, now, I'll start with Keenats. Keenats, this is Keenats Merkstave, and it's saying that you don't see past your nose sometimes, and this in regards to fear. You're not seeing the forest for the trees. You're not seeing the big picture. It's true, many of us are guarded by, not guarded, but are characterized, distinguished by eyes. Eyes is a rune that tells us this is the way we are. This is the way we are. I can't be anything that I'm not. And I need to go with the flow, and I need to follow my whims. I need to follow the gut instinct. But we have Rido here, and Rido is asking you, Bright State, Rido is asking you to make a leap of faith. This is a journeying room. It was actually on its side, and the journeying room tells us that we journey in life as we journey in death, and our journey in life is a telltale sign. And look, we are not 6 feet under, or I can't remember the name of that TV series, or 12 feet under, something like that. We are not. We are of this. We're in the midst of a new spring, Cancer. Now, there's the last rune here is Hagal Hagalas. Now, Hagal is a rune that tells us, look, Cancer, it's time that you need to go under the surface a bit more. Go beneath the surface. Don't think of the bills that you have to pay. Don't think of anything that will not serve you in your new spring. Hagal tells us to get in touch again with our spirit. If you have trouble doing that, try to immerse yourself in nature, because you will get strength actually from the trees. But it is a new spring. And a spring is an announcement. Please listen and open your ears to that announcement, Cancer. This was a joy for me to communicate. I do hope this was of help for you in more ways than one. Thank you so much, my old Telltale subscribers, my diehard subscribers, for sticking with me, and welcome to my new subscribers. Until we read together again, have a nice month of July. Also, those of you who want a private reading, please go to my website, www.ChristelleMartinette.com, and you'll find under readings, there'll be a page there explaining everything, or just write to me, readings@ChristelleMartinette.com. Bye-bye.